Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Media True Nerd, and welcome back to Hitman Absolution. And today I'm thrilled that we are going to be doing the Hope missions, because to my mind, the Hope missions are the best missions in the game, I think. Actually, there's loads of good missions here. So actually, you know what? People who are saying I've been too mean to Absolution, this is the video I'm nice to Absolution. So we joined 47, leaving Rosewood, having killed Wade, and now knowing that he needs to go to Hope in South Dakota. I'm assuming Hope's not a real town. I'm also not sure where in the US South Dakota is, so I don't know how likely it is Hitman would actually be able to just drive directly from Chicago to South Dakota, apparently in a single journey without ever stopping for gas or anything. Meanwhile, we cut to Birdie, who does distinctly appear to be betraying me.
You've been very useful, but if I see your weasel face again, I will bury you right here next to the Founding Fathers. I can promise you that.
Think you're gonna cut me out of the action? Well, you got another thing coming, man. I got a sorpresa for you. Yeah.
Birdie, a big damn hero there, tried to sell me out. Couldn't. The bad guy wasn't interested. So now he's going to support 47 just to get back at the guys who he tried to betray me to. Lovely character, Birdie. And Hitman finally pulls over. Not convinced he could have done all of that on a single tank of gas, but okay, fine, maybe he could. And there she is, Hope, South Dakota. And we begin in the bar where we've got the matchbook that we picked off Wade's body. This is a really short mission, but I actually quite like it. Again, the crowd system is used for something that we'll get into in a moment. So, before that, always got ourselves grab ourselves a bottle. And we've got ourselves a police officer here. Perfect. He happens to be right in the right position for us. We may as well subdue him straight away. Yep, get ourselves a police officer. Get ourselves a disguise off him. Is there anywhere to actually dispose of the body in here? I'm trying to remember if there is. It appears there actually isn't. Okay, I've just got to hope no one else decides to come in here. So now we're dressed as a police officer. We can just walk on in, no problem at all. We've got more of these flipping weird multicolored beads. Few police officers will sort of recognize us, but with a tiny bit of instinct, we're absolutely fine. Yep, no problem at all. And just talk to the bartender.
Barbershop! Every day, 12 noon, sharp!
Hey, Holmes. How's country life? Locals treating you okay? Why don't you pop on over to McGarman's gun shop, because I got you a little moving-in present.
So that's one incredibly easy way to do it. Just police officer, then walk on straight through. However, I think we can do things in a much more fun way. So over in the bathroom, you've also got this here lever that you can pull.
What the fuck? What are you looking for, stranger? Trouble?
And unfortunately, someone's decided that because the power was cut and the jukebox went off, it's time for everyone to be involved in a great big brawl. And we basically now have to just walk through the bar, beating everyone up. And the game's now basically testing, can you do all the quick time events in time if you happen to run into some of the fights. So you just have to kind of work your way around those now. The guys who were guarding the doors are now as a result kind of not guarding the doors, so you can walk straight on through. I just love this. I just love that you kind of now have to just walk through this massive brawl and just occasionally get involved in a couple of fist fights that 47 can just handle really, really easily. It's wonderful. It's also hilarious, of course, that nobody minds you beating anyone up in this particular part of the game. And indeed, if you just kind of stand here, people will just keep kind of coming up to you slowly and just be involved in fist fights with you. Just more and more people slowly join the pile of unconscious people next to me. Oi, you! All the people running over to fight me one by one. But mysteriously, that guy who I just throw a bottle at doesn't mind. There's pretty much nothing to stop you slowly taking out everyone in the entire bar. All the people who are fighting will eventually run over to you. It's kind of great. And the quick time events aren't particularly kind of hard to do. You'll also notice mysteriously, unlike just about anything else in the entire game, on this particular occasion, nobody actually objects to you punching people and knocking them unconscious. Pacification isn't a thing anymore. Yeah, that's right. You want some? You want some? Yeah, have a bottle. You like that? Yeah, that's right. Screw you. It always did strike me as just a bit of an oversight in Absolution, how you can toss, like, the bottles and stuff, the distraction items. You can toss them actually at people, and nobody actually, minds at all. Even the people who are fighting, you can actually just kind of toss bottles at the people who are fighting. There we go. And oddly, that does distract them because unlike everyone else, the people who are fighting are real people. The people who are watching are the crowd. So if you do the thing with the, if you actually distract the people who are fighting, it does temporarily interrupt their fight. But the other guy kind of keeps fighting. And when they start fighting again, they're no longer properly in sync. It does also create the odd scenario where if you've taken out both of the people who were fighting, the members of the ghost people who were cheering on the fight continue to cheer on the fight. So they're just standing here next to this empty space, cheering it on. So if only something can just kind of stand there and take their applause. But yeah, I think you see kind of how this goes. I really do genuinely like this mission. I think this mission's very, very good fun, and there's that way of doing it too. That you can just do it in a massive, bar fight. And indeed, ironically, as you'll notice that actually gets you a better score as a hitman than just kind of knocking the policeman unconscious. Because knocking the policeman unconscious counts as pacification, but the bar fight events don't count as pacification. So you actually get a better score doing it that way than you do it via the police officer. And finally, there's also just some vents in the bathroom that you probably saw in my first playthrough there. So if you want to, you can kind of pop through the vents and just kind of sneak through that way. That lets you bypass the security guard and get into a little bit of a back room here. Now, if you're wanting to do this a little bit violent-like, this is the room that has the shotgun. So this is a very good room if you want to be, you know, doing all of the explosions and so forth. You want to come this way anyway because this is where the evidence comes. To maximise your score, you're going to need to get the evidence as well. You need to get the evidence and then probably pretty much just walk straight back out of the vent and go back to the bathroom and then just do the bar fight mechanism. I'm guessing that's the perfect score. If you want to be doing this without a suit, then basically you're doing it a lot of rolling around. And mysteriously, you're allowed to just roll through crowds, even though you blatantly shouldn't be able to because you're rolling through people. I think it's quite funny that you can just roll around and you actually have to do it that way if you're doing this without the suit. It's quite good. I like it. I wouldn't recommend trying to do this level armed, by the way. There's a lot of people in here who go red, as you can probably see there. Everyone is armed in Hope Dakota. Yeah, I think you can see there just how many people have guns. Don't try and do this with guns. Here we are, the gun shop. And Hitman's silver ballers are indeed in Hope, South Dakota, in this gun shop that Birdie told us about. Now we need to get hold of them, and we need to get them back.
They're not for sale, son.
They're mine.
Not unless you got a receipt. Tell you what, I'll sell them to you if you can outshoot a girl. You think you can outshoot a girl?
Depends on the girl.
So here we are in the gun shop. This is one of my favourite missions in the game. One of the ones I think is genuinely very, very good. Because, okay, couple of things. Though it's a small level, it's very multi-layered and deep. One, we've got a clear objective. We want to get hold of our guns. That will present an immediate actual advantage to us in subsequent missions because these are powerful, silenced guns and we have history with them. So we've got a clear objective. We're not just trying to get to the exit to get to the next level. We actually want to achieve something very tangible. Get hold of the silver ballers that are a big part of the Hitman franchise. And how we get them, there's lots of different very interesting ways. The one that was suggested to us was we need to be able to outshoot this girl, Lily.
Well, hey there, cowboy. I hear you're up for a match. Go on ahead and pick out any gun you want from that store over there. Once you've picked out your piece, come on back and we'll rumble.
Now, if you want to, there's absolutely nothing to stop you actually taking part in this here shooting contest. And as the guy says, obviously you can go into the gun shop and you can pick any gun that you want to actually do that. So if you want this rapid fire gun, or if you want a pistol, or anything else, just kind of go around here. There's a lot of automatic weaponry. And obviously it being a gun store and you being part of the competition, the game openly says that being visibly armed isn't actually a problem. So you can just walk up to here, do whatever you want, enter the contest. The only problem with the contest in my mind is I think it really was optimized with like a mouse controls in mind. It's really quite difficult to do with an analog stick unless you're point shooting. If you're point shooting, fine, but I'd say with an analog stick, this is really quite a difficult thing. So that's the way to do it legitimately, and indeed if you kind of are able to beat her high score, which is basically just a matter of decent aim and point shooting, then you can indeed just kind of get the guns that way. Walk out to the level, done. Didn't have to kill anyone, didn't have to do anything illegal, just did exactly what the game asked you to. However, of course, there's an awful lot of more interesting stuff to do here as well. One of the first is obviously you've got Caden Lynch reference right here. So you've got the main guy over here, the guy who's the gun shop owner, who goes into this little room all the time, this little side room. You can't go there, but over here you've got an air vent so that you can. And this is your chance to get him. So we can get him down nice and easy. And he comes with a notebook, which gives me the combination to the safe in his office. And that gives me a key. Into the cupboard he goes. I'm pretty sure he's the only person who comes in here, so that's not a problem at all. And back to neutral. Back through the vent we came through. And you also notice by doing that, we've got ourselves a whole lot of instinct. So actually, just by doing that, even if we did want to win the gun contest, we'd end up in a much better situation had we done that, because now we'd begin the gun contest with a whole bunch of instinct that we could use for point shooting. So again, the multiple solutions to this level aren't all mutually exclusive. You don't just either do the gun contest or you kind of do the knocking him unconscious. If you can sneak a couple of people to one side and subdue them and hide the bodies, then you're gonna get enough you get like a little bit of a bonus for doing all of that. So let's do that. Open the gun case. Got ourselves the guns. And that, right there, is the mission complete. Nice and easy. But there's more to this level yet too, aside from stealing the silver ballers or just winning. There's loads more. So obviously we got the key to his safe off him, but that's not the only thing there. You can see over there, what you've got is a key card on the desk. Now to get around to that, there's obviously, there's some easy ways and there's some harder ways. Head round back to the office, but instead of this time kind of ambushing the old guy to get his key, just head through the back window. And all of a sudden, we're in, the game calls it a hostile area. What it really means is you are now actually in the shooting range. No one likes you being in the shooting range, by the way, which is quite funny. And then you can just go around the front of the shooting range, and that leads you to this door here. This door that leads you into the back area. So we're now in the back room from the store at the front. So just head up here, and you'll get a chance to use the radio. He gets spooked by that. And temporarily turns his back on the world. And we get to just bring him down and subdue him. Lovely. There's just a moment where it's almost a little bit unrealistic, but the game is kind enough to give you a moment where he's facing the wrong way. Just so, even though he ought to walk straight back to his post, the game just lets him face the wrong way for a moment, so you get the chance to strangle him anyway. So, thanks to him being gone, you've got a key card here. Now, this time you can head straight upstairs. You're in a hostile area right now, so don't get spotted. There's not much up here. We can only assume this is where the guy who owns the place lives, which is unfortunate, given it's a little bit scruffy. Just a mattress on the floor. That's a shame. Big gnomes. Big Confederate gnomes, in fact. So, like gnomes, not so convinced by the whole Confederate thing. Oh, he's coming up here, so we may have to get rid of him. Yeah, you shouldn't have come up here, my good man. You shouldn't have come up here. Sorry, you have to go down too, because you came up here at the wrong time. Don't worry about him for now. Instead, from this balcony, you can just climb down. And now, by hiding around the outside, we can now head into the shooting range. The shooting range is not locked off from you. You can just head into it. And head around the outside here. Climb down. And we're in a little trench that goes through the shooting range. Now, we'll get to that door in a second, but unique weapon that's round the side here. You've got yourself a sniper rifle. Not necessarily that useful for the actual the gunplay, because it's a bit too slow. So I'm not sure it's necessarily that useful for the gunplay. But if you decide that you wanted to go up to that top room and snipe off everyone who was part of the show, then I suppose you could do that. Using the key card we picked up and going into this secret back area, you can crack open this door here for a secret back room. And again, this is the other combination for the safe. The guy writes down the combination for the safe twice. You've got loads of gasoline cans here, together with the evidence. So if you want a perfect score, you're going to need to come into this room. But all the gasoline cans obviously mean there's a lot of big explosive stuff. But most importantly of all, the Ultramax. So you've got an amazing, amazing little gun here. run around if you want to the front, and you are now actually in the shooting range. You are actually in the area where people are aiming at. The shooting isn't just for show. They are genuinely shooting actual bottles and actual targets. So if you kind of hang around here, there is a chance you can be shot, which I think is actually quite funny. And then just my personal favourite thing to do, as soon as you've got a good line of sight to all of them, just wait for all of them to kind of walk into your line of sight. That security guard's going to be in a second. Dead. 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 And you can just basically, if you're quick enough with the thing, it's easier with mouse and keyboard controls, obviously. But you can basically just go through and wipe out the entire line. I think I missed Lily there. I just got a couple of shots into her instead. And then this is actually quite a good place to counter snipe from. So if you want to, you can just hide out here and just like slowly take out everyone in the level. This is actually quite a good position to do that from. But bear in mind, as with the bar, this is Hope, so everyone is armed. So be a little bit careful. But with the fact that you've got the best machine gun here, it's not so difficult. So I think we've just killed most of the people there. And next we move on to the Streets of Hope, the town itself. Probably, I think, what many people consider the best level in this game. I actually personally prefer the gun store. I just love how the different ways you can do the gun store interact with each other, where, you know, by sneaking around you can acquire better guns that make, you know, the competition easier, and that you can gain more instinct that's really useful. Oh, I just think it's a brilliant system.
We grab the girl from under Dexter's nose, sell her off ourselves. Hey, Tyler, he's already in touch with the competing arms company. We're talking 6 figures, man.
So, unfortunately, as we heard there, the Lenny's gang appears to know something about the girl in question, which means they have to be taken care of because, well, I think 47 is just operating under a no loose ends kind of principle. So here we are in the Streets of Hope. Oh yes, I'd forgotten this. This is a really cute touch. If you go over to the rail crossing to try and get to the other half of town, it comes down and this freight train comes through. And it never stops coming through. So if you just stand here, it even gives you the hint, this train seems to go on forever. So yes, the train will block your way so you can't actually escape again. Which I think is actually a really lovely touch. Of course, if you step away from the train, it goes back up again. But if you approach again, then, yep, the barrier will come straight back down and the train will keep coming and you can never get through. It's kind of funny. I actually think it's a lovely way of disguising the edge of a level. What I particularly love about this level, by the way, is that none of the targets are like static. This is something that actually maybe this game actually does better than Blood Money or Hitman 2. The targets all move around quite a lot, so they're not just like stuck in one place where there's clearly like one thing that you need to do in order to track them down. Instead, they wander all over the place, which is really rather nice. Now, this area, am I allowed in here? Oh, hang on, what's this? A certified death trap. That is a thing of slurry or something of that nature. Lovely. Okay, got to keep an eye on that potentially. So this guy probably seems like a good starting point because he is around here. Very nice and close. He's in this kind of shop that looks like it's a good place to start. Okay, that guy's going into the back area. Let's see if we can use the radio to distract her. And I feel like while he's up here, this could be an excellent thing to do.
That is not the price we agreed on.
Yep, he's on his phone. Perfect. And we'll just get him down. And he is dead. Nice and quick. More of these bloody, dreadful, horrendous beads. And in case you want to go shooting, of course, you got a nice shotgun up here too. Lovely. And if you wanted to be a little bit more subtle about it, you could have turned on the gas. But honestly, given that will make an explosion, I'm guessing that would draw more attention than just cracking his neck. So we're just going to crack his neck instead. Grab a bottle on the way out in case I need to distract my way to escape. Nope, she lets me go. Nice and easy. Target number 1, down. Target number 2, I've got eyes on. He looks like he's upstairs in the garage. I'm allowed into the forecourt, but I'm assuming not into the garage itself. Again, can you just confirm that? Yes, repair shop is off limits to customers. Am I allowed to go up to this door over here, or is that considered part of the repair shop? Am I allowed in here? Guessing not. Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, come on. That's not fair. That wasn't even in the flipping repair shop. Oh, that's mean of you, game. That's very mean of you. Alright, let's head down the side road here. See how far I'm allowed to go down here. Colour's got a bit confused there. I mean, I know that's supposed to be oil, but that's slightly odd way of doing it. Okay, no. Just hide behind the car, hide behind the car. And we've got ourselves a back entrance here. Okay, mechanic turns to pay attention to car. You're moving upstairs and out of the way. I feel like this is a good time to just sneak upstairs. Right, upstairs. Let's just turn on the gas. That seems like an excellent thing to do. I'm sure that will be relevant sooner or later. Where is our target? He's over there for now. He's not even up here. I just love how mobile they are. That you're not just kind of trapped in a single area. That people do actually kind of move around and have... That you feel like they feel a lot more alive for it. Ah, this could be an excellent guy to get out of the way right now. Okay, with that cop removed, we've now got ourselves potentially a good chance to just get this guy. And... garroted. Lovely. Right, here's our final target, who so far hasn't shown much interest in doing the baking I was hoping he was going to be doing. Well, if he doesn't do it this time, I guess we're just going to have to take alternative action. Oh well. You had your chance. You had your flipping chance to do some baking. You didn't want to. And down he goes. A little bit less subtle that time. Oh flip, oh flip, oh flip, oh flip, oh flip. I somehow managed to get away with that. How the hell did I get away with that one? That's unfortunate. Right, let's just hide here for a minute. That was really unlucky, because if I'd have got him on the flat, I would have been able to, do the subdue into the neck break. But if you catch someone on the stairs, sometimes they refuse to do that, and you actually basically have no choice but to, you've got no choice but to kind of do a bit of a punchy thing. Hello. Are we good? Are we going to be friends? I think you're going to forget about me in a second, aren't you? Right, got one guy hunting for me. I think we probably should just remove him from the equation. May as well take a nice snazzy policeman's uniform, just so I look nice and fancy. Actually, no, I don't even like this uniform that much. Well, let me walk straight past the mechanic without any problems, because the mechanic will not recognise me. Alright, hardly the perfect run there. We had a bit of fuss at the end there. There's all sorts of fun things in this level. You know, there's the mechanical accidents, electrocution by fence. I think the electrocution by fence is probably the one people most remember. Anyway, let's head on into the next bit. I'm not actually a fan of barbershop at all. It's basically the same thing, but much less interesting, because it's not a public area, so therefore you're not really allowed to be in any of it, so it's a lot more sneaking around. So I'm just going to skip to the end of it. Basically, you just, kill 2 more guys, and then you kidnap Lenny. And that leads us into End of the Road, a mission that is deeply problematic. A mission I'm not wholly comfortable with.
We was gonna give it right back. We was just trying to make some money, man.
Last time. Where's Victoria? Don't stop.
Pop told me to leave her with Sanchez.
Where do I find him?
Factory, just south of town. Ask anybody, they'll tell you. He runs the fights there at night. All right.
All right, you can stop digging.
Can I get out of this hole now?
So we've got Lenny here, who's clearly doesn't even know exactly what's going on. You ask him to dig his own grave, he doesn't even realise what's happening. He's mentally troubled. He's clearly not well. He doesn't know what he's doing. Back at the orphanage, he didn't even flipping mean to kill that nun. It was an accident. He wants to be a big man and be a psycho because he's been surrounded by psychopaths like Wade and his father his entire life. He just doesn't understand what he's doing, and if he's picked up bad habits, it's because he's not really fully with it. He's just, I feel So bad for him. And then, like, rather than, like, you know, 47 extract the information, then letting him go, there's this whole mission set up where basically there's all sorts of different ways set up to do horrendous, horrible things to this poor, mentally unwell person. So he just wanders around this level, begging to be let go. And even though, you know, at this point, he doesn't pose a threat to anyone. I've taken out his gang. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't understand what's going on around him, but instead the game basically says he has to die. There's nothing to stop you getting in the car and going away, but it doesn't end well for him even if you do actually. But instead kind of, and I honestly think this is where the game really, this is bad taste, that the game sets up these slightly kind of comical, elaborate ways to kill the mentally disabled person. So he walks past this carriage that's full of dynamite, beat him on the head with a bone, pick up a tomahawk from nearby, and stab him in the head with it. Or just use one of the many guns in your car. It's just, I genuinely believe this is in really bad taste. That this is a guy who, like, okay, he kidnapped Victoria, but from what he said, it made perfectly clear that he didn't even flipping realise, and I do genuinely believe him when he says he didn't even know that anything bad was going to happen to her. He thought there was just going to be some money made somehow, and he probably doesn't even bloody know how. And then she'd just be, like, returned safely. It's just, oh god. So, and there's no way to save him. Okay, here's what the alternatives are. So just ignore him, get in the car and drive away, alright?
Oh, please. Hey! Hey! Come back! I didn't mean any of it! Hey, at least give me some water, man! I won't have to stay out here!
They've even recorded unique begging dialogue for each weapon that you point at him. Right, let's just put him out of his misery.
What? You don't need anything bigger?
And with that, we drive away. I mean, I'm not the sort of person who gets, like, offended by video games doing controversial stuff, but Lenny is in poor taste and was poorly judged as a character. I think there's a metaphor going on here. A big fat dog that's making a lot of noise, that actually gets outwitted by a snake that strikes silently without being seen. I wonder what they're trying to imply. And next we move on towards the factory where we have been told that Sanchez took delivery of Victoria. And I think we will pick this up next week. I may skip parts of the game at this point. I think we now kind of, that was pretty much with especially the Streets of Hope, I think is pretty much peak Hitman Absolution. At this point, as we go into Dexter Industries, things are not as good. So I will pick this up next week and we'll probably skip lots of little bits and pieces and hurry our way through to the remaining good bits of the game. But yes, that will be next week. And in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John. It's been many a true nerd, and this has been probably some of the best levels, albeit the ones with Lenny. Oh, poor Lenny in Hitman Absolution. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Down, 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 get off it. Just hop off. Oh no, that was wrong! I would untie and save you, you understand, but there is a hovercraft. I really hope the bear's not still around. The bear is still around! The bear's still around! The bear's still around! Good news, guys! Elephants here! Hey!